Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha Hari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tera Vanacham Hari. Yamuna Tera Vanacham Hari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha Hari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha Hari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanacham Hari. Yamuna Tera Vanacham Hari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha Hari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha Hari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tera Vanacham Hari. Yamuna Tera Vanacham Hari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Kund Bihari Radha Kund Bihari Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe. Jaya Radha Gopinata Radha Gopinata Radhe. Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe. Jaya Radha Ramana Radha Ramana Radhe. Jaya Radha Shyamasundar Radha Shyamasundar Radhe. Jaya Radha Vinod Bihari Radha Vinod Bihari Radhe. Jaya Radha Gopal Juhu Radha Gopal Juhu Radhe. Jaya Radha Radha Kanta Radha Radha Kanta Radhe. Radha Radha Kanta Radhe. Jaya Radha Vinod Jaya Radha Vinod Radha Vinod Jaya Radha Vinod. Jaya Radha Gokrananda Radha Gokrananda Radhe. Jaya Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radhe. Jaya Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Jaya Radhe Shyam. Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai. Nitai Gaura Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Nitai Gaura Hare Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Vishupad Paramahamsa Parivirajagataya Shota Satta Shishmachila. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivirajagataya Shota Satta Shishmachila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki. Ananta Kodi Vaishnavrinda ki. Shirup Sri Sanatan Bhatta Raghunathi Jeev Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Sar Goswami Prabhu ki. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवधरी गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपा गोपी गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की श्री वृंदावन धाम की श्री मथुरा धाम की श्री मायापुर धाम की श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की वृंद देवी तुलसी देवी की भक्ति देवी की गंगा यमुना देवी की हरे नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की श्री श्री गौर निताय की श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की श्री श्री राधा श्यामसुंदर की गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल समवेत भक्त वृंद की all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim sarasatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet. Nashtapaye shabadeshon nitam bhagavate sevaya bhagavate uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. Ete chamsa kalapum sam krishna stu bhagavan sayam indriyarivyakulam lokam ridyante yuge yuge. Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranasanam Pranamaduka Samanastam Namami Harim Param Nigama Kalpa Taror Galidam Palam Sukamukadam Rita Divisam Yudam Viveda Bhagatam Rasamalayam Muhuro Rasikabu Vibhavukaham. So we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 3rd chapter, entitled Liberation from the Illusory Energy. The 9 Yogendras, the sons of Rishabdev, are speaking to Maharaj Nimi. Text number 50 and 51. Achado hridaye chapi yatha labdo pacharakai dravyakshityatma lingani nishpadya prokshachasanam padyadin upakalpyatha sannidhyabhya samahitaha rid adhibhi kritanyaso mula mantrina charchayet achado hridaye chapi yata labda pacharakai dravyakshityatma lingani nispadya prokshachasanam Padyadin upakalpyatha Sannidhyapya samahita Rid adibhi kritanyaso Mula mantrena charchayed Ladies, Vasudev Krishna. You come here. Please chant. Now Vasudev Krishna, come here. Him behind. You come here once. You can chant, go ahead, chant. Come here. I'm calling you. Come here. Achadau, in the form of the deity and his paraphernalia. Hridaye, in the heart. Cha'api, also. Yathalabdha, whatever is available. Upacharakai, with ingredients of worship. Dravya, the physical items to be offered. Kshiti, the ground. Atma, one's own mind, lingani, and the deity, nispadya, preparing, proksha, sprinkling with water for purification, cha, and asanam, one seat, padya adin, the water for bathing the deity's feet and other offerings, upakalpya, getting ready, atha, then, sanidhapya, placing the deity in his proper place, samahita, concentrating one's attention, rit adibi, on the deity's heart and other places of the body, Kritanyasa, having drawn sacred marks, Mula Mantrena, with the appropriate basic mantra for worshipping the particular deity, cha, and archayet, one should offer worship. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. The devotee should gather whatever ingredients for worshipping the deity are available. Make ready the offerings, the ground, his mind and the deity. Sprinkle his sitting place with water for purification and prepare the bathing water and other paraphernalia. The devotee should then place the deity in his proper place, both physically and within his mind. Concentrate his attention and mark the deity's heart and other parts of the body with tilak. Then he should offer worship with the appropriate mantra. Purport. Ata Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhaved Grayam Indriyai Seva Mukhe Jivado Swayam Evas Puratyadaha, from the Padma Purana. The absolute truth can never be understood by ordinary material sense perception. The conditioned souls engrossed in the vain pursuit of material sense gratification are completely indifferent to the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Their materially conditioned minds are always impure and disturbed by the endless flow of material dualities such as prosperity and poverty, winter and summer, fame and infamy, youth and old age. Such disturbed, conditioned souls cannot recognize the personal presence of the Absolute Truth in the form of the deity. The Lord's incarnation as Archa, avatar, the deity form, is a special manifestation of the Lord's mercy toward the materialistic or neophyte devotees who are still under the influence of material designations. They are unable to perceive the Lord in His eternal abode, and therefore the Lord descends as the deity form, manifesting the Prakash incarnations and even the Swayam Prakash, or the original form of the Lord. The Prakash incarnations exhibit various pastimes within this world, whereas Swayam Prakash, the Lord's original form, is the source of all avatars. The one who sincerely worships the deity manifests himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are most unfortunate cannot even recognize the Supreme Lord in His merciful deity expansion. They consider the deity an ordinary material object. But by surrendering at the lotus feet of a bona fide spiritual master who is a pure devotee of the Lord, one can learn to worship the deity, as mentioned in this verse, and thus revive one's lost relationship with the Lord. One who considers such transcendental deity worship to be equivalent to idol worship is grossly covered by the three modes of material nature. A person wearing rose-colored glasses sees the entire world to be rose-colored. Similarly, those unfortunate living entities who are thickly covered by the material modes of nature see everything, including the Supreme Lord, as material due to their polluted vision. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chaksuranmilitam Yanam Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupagadhamayam Darati Swapadantigam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yotabadakamalan Sri Guran Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpade Gopesha Govigakanta Radha Kanta Namastude Datta Ganjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshare Brishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Padidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivajadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. So here one of the Yogendras, greatly elevated devotees of the Lord, sons of the incarnation of the Lord Rishabdev. They were renunciants, yogis, fully engaged in devotional service. So, being inspired by the Lord, they came to see Maharaj Nimi, who was also a devotee of the Lord, and he had questions in regards to the absolute truth. Specifically, so in this chapter, how to become liberated from the illusory energy. So, we as devotees, trying to become pure also, we understand that it is not so easy to become free from this illusory energy, Maya, the external energy made of the three modes of material nature, Sattvagun, Rajagun and Tamagun. So actually one should be situated in the mode of goodness in order to be able to advance and in order to be able to fully surrender to Krishna. But due to mode of passion and ignorance, so difficulties are there. But we have to continue taking shelter of the Vaishnavas, the spiritual master, and then try to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of God and Himself. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in our case, or Sri Sri Radha Shyamasundar. So here, Avir Hotra, being asked or by the king to give some further enlightenment. So here he is speaking in regards to worshipping the deity, which is a very important limb of devotional service. So we are following Srila Prabhupada and the previous acharyas. We are known as Rupanuga Vaishnavas, and just now we are also celebrating the disappearance of Srila Rupa Goswami, which is tomorrow. And so he has given transcendental literatures by which we can advance in our spiritual life, and which Prabhupada wanted that his disciples study, like Upadeshamrita, the nectar of instruction, and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the nectar of devotion. There, in the nectar of devotion specifically, which is very much important for the devotees to advance from first having faith, Shraddha, and then taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas, and under their guidance engage in devotional activities, then become free from unwanted things, anatta, nivritti. And then we can become fixed, and we can get a taste for spiritual life, for chanting the holy names, nam ruchi, or for serving, seva ruchi. And then we can become attached to Krishna and detached from this world, and then we can attain perfection and come to the platform of bhav, where transcendental, which is a spiritual platform where transcendental emotions are coming from the heart, from the soul proper. And then there's a wonderful loving exchange, and then one can realize Krishna Sarup, Krishna's beautiful form, Shyamasundar, Tribanglalit, whose form is bent in three places, who is wearing Pitambaravesha, yellow dhoti, and who is known as Muridhar, also holding a flute and playing the flute, Siki Pichi Moli, and he has a peacock feather in his crown or his turban. So that is actually the goal of life, realizing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as He is. And then by realizing Krishna, so that means that goes hand in hand, and we realize our own self. Atma Sakshatkar, direct perception of the self. A spirit soul beyond this material body, both gross and subtle, having a spiritual form and a loving relationship with Krishna. But we cannot immediately come to that platform of seeing Krishna as He is. So therefore, we have to follow the instructions of the spiritual master and perform sadhana bhakti, regulated devotional service. By this sadhana bhakti, specifically following rules and regulations, the spiritual master will tell what to do and what not to do. Rising early in the morning, performing Mangal Āratī, and then chanting japa, worshipping the deities, hearing Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or Chaitanya Charitamrita, and engaging in various services according to our psychophysical nature. And as Prabhupada wanted to establish Vana Ashram Dharma, it is there naturally, but we have to recognize, and of course keeping Krishna in the center, but we have to act in a certain way according to Shastra, either as a brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprasthi or sannyasi, following the respective rules and regulations. And then we have to be situated in one varna, social order. And of course we don't identify with that position, but we have to serve in a Brahminical way, or in a managerial way, or doing some business, or taking care of the cows and the land, or just doing some ordinary work. So that has to be done. And so that is Varna Ashram, which has to be followed. That is also known as Naimitika Dharma. That is temporary, because it is pertaining to the body, the gross and subtle body. But then we should engage in Nitya Dharma, or actually serving the Lord. Sanatan Dharma, Vastav Dharma, Paradharma. Direct service to Krishna has to be there. Not simply acting according to Vana and Ashram, but Krishna has to be in the center, and one has to serve Krishna directly. So in the beginning stage, so we have not seen Krishna, so how we can serve? So therefore, the Lord has explained here in the verse and in the purport, Archa, Archa Vigraha, Archa Avatar. The Lord, by His own causeless mercy, is appearing in this world in the deity form, known as Archa Vigraha, or Archa Murti. And of course, it is not just by His own sweet will, but usually through the spiritual master, the Lord is descending. It's not that suddenly He is manifested and okay, here the Murti of Krishna suddenly manifests. Very rare. It also happens sometimes, but very rare that the Murti is manifested. Swayambhu, self-manifested. So of course, the Shaligram Shilas are there and they are self-manifested. In Nepal, the Gandaki river, even further up, there's one place known as Damodar Kund, where the Shaligram Shilas are found. These are black stones, but these are not ordinary stones. They are manifestation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And there are many, many Shilas. And you can see the markings, some, and that is described also in the scriptures. Like Hari Bhakti Vilas, it is mentioned, like by the Lakshan, the symptoms or the the sign on the Shila, which Shila it is. Like for example, if it is an opening and there's a kind of chakra in the opening, which is like a mouth up and down, then it is a Nrsimha Shila. Some round Shilas are there and there's some marking like, looks like a hoof print of a cow or calf. So that is a Gopal Shila. And there's a Ram Shila also, the other Shilas are there, Narayan Shila and so on. So they are self-manifested. And then, so, but also forms like the deity form, which we see, some forms have manifested in Bharadvasha also. But generally, with the help of the spiritual master, the representative of the Lord, and that is also, for example, the Shilpi, the one who is making the deities, and that is according to the instructions of the spiritual master and the scriptures. The deities are made. The Archa Vigraha is made. So, for example, if you want to worship the deities, first of all, we have to take the permission of the spiritual master. And then we may go to Loi Bazaar, nearby here, or even across our temple, there's a shop there, and you can see beautiful deities made by some persons who have been trained. It is usually in the family, they have been trained under the guidance of a devotee of the Lord, pure devotee. The deities are made. Just like the main deities here in Vrindavan, or who are now also in Jaipur, like Radha Govinda, Govinda Dev, Gopinath, Madan Mohan, and in Govardhan, Hari Dev. So, made out of the black stone, granite stone, which is very strong. So how have they been made? So that is actually the great-grandson of Krishna, known as Brajanab. After Krishna disappeared, he came to Braj. And he wanted to have some deities of the Lord. And then he actually asked also Uttara, the mother of Parikshit, because she had seen Krishna. Most of the other associates of the Lord had already passed away, and Brajanath, he was just a little boy. But he had seen also Krishna as a little boy. But then he asked Uttara, because she saw Krishna very nicely. So he asked her to come to Braj also, and to help, to tell those who are making the deities how Krishna should look. And then the deities were made, and they were installed. And even, so they are very old deities, more than 5,000 years old. And so they are still worshipped in Jaipur, Radha Govinda Dev, famous, and Radha Gopinath, and in Karoli, Madan Mohan, and so on. And so then there's a process which is described here, how to worship the deities. So, so here it is mentioned Archa Adau, in the form of the deity and his paraphernalia, Adi. So Adau, that means plural. So there's a lot of paraphernalia for worshipping the Lord. It's So we see the deities and then we are doing Āratī, we are doing Puja. So all of that is required. And that should be done, of course, according to the instructions of the spiritual master. There's a process known as Archana Padati. The spiritual master will guide, so he's experienced. And it is, of course, even the spiritual master is not that he is deciding, but he has heard from his spiritual master, and it is according to the scriptures, as mentioned here in the Bhagavatam, or even further on in the same 11th canto. Krishna is speaking to Uddhav. He's speaking about devotional service, of course, about Vana Ashram. And then one full chapter is about deity worship, how the deity should be worshipped. And it is elaborate. The full chapter is about how to worship the deity. So Krishna himself, Vande Krishna Jagat Gurum. So Krishna is Jagat Guru. He's the original instructor, spiritual master. Even he spoke to Brahma. We're in the Brahma Madhva Gauriya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So Krishna spoke, as mentioned in the 2nd canto, 9th chapter, text 31 till 36, 33 till 36, the mool shlokas, the original verses are there, but then he's giving the instruction to Brahma that Jnanam Param Guhyam Me Sa Vijnanam Samanvitam Sarahasyam Tadangascha Grihana Gatitam Maya. Telling Brahma, please you accept that. So he's giving, and not by force, but he's giving and he's telling him, if you want, you can accept. Of course, Brahma is accepting, just like Krishna spoke to Arjuna. They didn't force him. He explained the Bhagavad Gita and then he told him, because first he didn't want to fight. But then Krishna said, well, I think you should fight. And then he spoke the whole Bhagavad Gita for our benefit. And at the end he told him, you can do as you like. I told you what you should do, what I feel should be done. Now you can do as you wish. If you still want to go to the forest, you go. But then Arjuna realized, no, I should fight, as Krishna wants. So as a devotee, Anyabhilashitu shunyam jnana karma navritam anukulina Krishna nuchilanam bhakti ruttamam. So pure devotional service means to be engaged favorably in devotional service for Krishna's pleasure. Krishna Nushilanam, as Krishna likes, not as we like. So something for Krishna and something for us. Of course, that may be there also. We're offering something to Krishna to eat, and then we're hoping to get something back. Not that Krishna eats everything and nothing is there for us. No. That happens rarely, but the pastime is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. One time Krishna ate everything. So, but usually he lives for us also, so we can be purified in our consciousness. And pushti, tushti will be there, and nourishment and satisfaction will be there by taking Krishna Prasadam. So, Anukul, it should be favorable, Krishna Nushilanam, as Krishna likes. So he should be worshipped. So the acharyas, they are repeating what they have heard from their spiritual master, but they may change sometimes something according to time, place and circumstances. So one has to, for example, there's a process of deity worship. It is not you just go on the altar and just you wave the incense. And then you wave a ghee lamp. No, there's a process. First of all, abhigaman. First we have to prepare. Early morning. So what do you do first time in the morning? What do you do, Prabhuji? What's your name? What's your name? Yagnesh. Okay. The Lord of Yagya. Yagyavai Vishnu. So what do you do first thing in the morning? What? Bathing. Okay, yeah, we should take bath. But first thing actually, when we get up, or before getting up, we should offer pranam to Sri Guru, the spiritual master, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna, or you may be worshipping Narayan, then you offer respect to Narayan, but first Guru, because without the spiritual master you cannot approach the Lord. as conditioned soul. And then, so we may offer obeisances to Mother Earth also, but especially Guru, and then once Ishtadev, worshipable Lord. And then we brush the teeth, we go to the bathroom, and then we take bath. But so actually, and when you take bath, we should actually also remembering the Lord. And therefore, the saintly persons, when they take bath, they will chant some mantra. Om apavitra pavitra va sarvavastam kadopi vaya smaret pundarikaksam sabhayabhyantara suchi. Remembering Pundarikaksha, Krishna has beautiful eyes, like lotus petals, very long, elongated eyes, like lotus petal, very beautiful. And his face is like a lotus flower. His navel is like a lotus flower, lotus hands, pinkish. And Krishna is ready to give blessings, and the lotus feet. So, so we should remember Krishna. Smatavya satadam Vishnu or Vismatavya najatu chet. We should always remember Krishna or Vishnu. But it's not easy, so we have to practice. And we may chant the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Because immediately we cannot remember Krishna, we have to become purified in consciousness. But by chanting the holy names, the consciousness becomes purified, the senses become purified, and then eventually you can see Krishna. Because Krishna and Krishna Nam are not different. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Punosuri Nidu Bhukta Abhinatvam Nama Naminaha. So gradually by chanting the holy names, you can see Krishna. And so therefore while we take bath, and we may chant some mantra, or we may just chant Hare Krishna, or offer some prayers to the Lord. So the point is we have to try to fix the mind on Krishna. Right from getting up, and after taking bath, we put on the cloth, and then we go to the temple, or at home, we do Mangal Āratī. So that is known as Abhigaman, preparing. Abhigaman, now going to the temple also, or preparing to worship the Lord. And then Upadan. So it's mentioned here, so all the paraphernalia is there. So the Pujari has to get all the paraphernalia. And the paraphernalia should be clean. And for example, then we are offering flowers, fresh flowers should be there, fragrant flowers should be there, even it is mentioned which flowers should be used. Because some flowers, they are slightly poisonous, or they may not be auspicious, they are not used. But it is mentioned also in Hari Bhakti Vilas which flowers are auspicious. Like the lotus flower, the malati flower, bakul flower, rajnigandha, and so on. So that is described. These flowers should be used. Of course, rose flowers are there, they are also used. Marigold flowers. But it is mentioned also which flowers are most pleasing to Krishna. For example, champak flowers. And in Vaishak Mas, which after Gopunima, Chaitra Mas is there, and the next month is known as Vaishak Mas. It is mentioned that if you offer the champak flower every day, even you just offer one champak flower, every day for the whole month, at the lotus feet of Krishna, you go to Golok Vrindavan. So, next year you can prepare. Now, but it is not only simply by offering the lotus flower, but you have to do a sadhana also, proper sadhana. Somebody may be thinking, I will just offer one flower, the champak flower, even of course lotus flower you can offer. But then if you do all kinds of nonsense, you will not go to Golok. You have to follow sadhana bhakti, the rules and regulations. And the Yugadama is the chanting of the holy names, the Mahā Mantra. So, under the direction of the spiritual master, we should engage in devotional service. And in worshipping specifically the deities also, we need the blessings of the spiritual master, and he will introduce us, he will tell us, he will show us how to worship the deities. So one is collecting the paraphernalia, the flowers, and for example, even cooking for the Lord, that is upadan, preparing nice foodstuffs. Again, according to the spiritual master, will tell what to offer in the morning. Like here, before Mangal Āratī, we have Krishna is eating very nicely here. Rasgula, rasmalai, sandesh, burfi, sweet rice, before Mangal Āratī. And then after Mangal Āratī, the puja is done, the main worship, bathing and dressing of the deities. And then Krishna is taking 5 kinds of fruits, and again these sweets, same sweet are offered again. Sandesh, burfi, rasmalai, rasgula. And it's almost 3 hours gap. Krishna is young boy. And so he can eat. And anyhow, it's Bhagavan, not only young boy, but it's Bhagavan. He can eat any time. Perfect digestion, no problem. No stomach ache. And also his bhava grahi janatan is accepting the love, the mood of the devotees. Prem ke bouquet. So he's hungry not for the items. So also important point, it is not just what you do, but how you do it. Not that we just offer something, but we don't have the proper consciousness. But the proper consciousness has to be there. Bhav, proper mood, and priti purvak murti seva, with some loving feelings. And how love is coming for Krishna? We have to purify our consciousness by chanting the holy names. And then slowly but surely love will manifest, because it is there in the heart. But in the conditioned state it is covered by the modes of material nature. But by chanting the holy names, engaging in devotional service, the consciousness, the heart is purified, and then love will manifest towards Krishna. So everything is prepared, and then it is going to be offered. So there's a process, we cannot just go on the altar. But there's a process, as mentioned, indicated here also, of purification. And Achman, sipping water for purification. Like there's an Achman patra, known as Achman cup. And with this you purify yourself. And usually that water is sanctified water from the holy river. Or if there's no holy river and nearby, then the priest, he will call the holy rivers, and by purity then the holy rivers may manifest. And there's Ankush Mutra, and then touching, not with the lower part of the finger, not touching with the nail, because the nail is impure. So the water should not be touched by the nail. And then saying, Gange Chaya Mona Chaiva Godavari Saraswate Narvade Sindhu Kaveri Jaliswin Saridem Kuro. And then the holy rivers will manifest if the Brahmana is in purified consciousness. And then, so Achman is performed for purification. One is putting water in the right hand, and then chanting one mantra, Om Keshavaya Namaha, and then sipping the water. Sometimes you see devotees who are not knowledgeable, but they have heard we should chant this mantra. They sip the water, and then they say Om Keshavaya Namaha. But first actually you have to say the mantra. So in this way, the vibration will go in the water, and then it becomes more potent, and more purifying effect is there. So the process of purification has to be there. So there's a Sadhana Achman, ordinary Achman for the common man, householders. They don't have so much time to chant so many mantras. They do the simple Achman. But pujaris in the major temple, they will chant 24 names of the Lord, touching different parts of the body, as mentioned also here, for purification, to spiritualize the body by chanting various mantras. And then, so different mantras are then chanted, like Prabhupada quoted one mantra many times in his lectures. Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Param Sada Pashanti Surya Diviva Chaksho Radadam Datti Prajabimanjavo Jagrivam Sasamendade Vishnudyat Paramam Padam. So Brahmana, Vipra, is spiritually awake. And because of his practice, he is able to see the spiritual realm, Golok Vrindavan or Vaikuntha. And therefore he can help others also to see. Om Madhavo Madhavo Vachi Madhavo Madhavo Riddhi Smaranti Sarva Sarve Sarva Kaya Shamadhavam. So he's speaking the names of the Lord. Madhava, Madhava Vachi, speaking Madhav, Madhav, Govinda, Damodara, Madhaveti, Jai Radha, Madhava, Kunja Bihari, and so on. And then Smaranti is remembering Madhav because he's chanting Madhav, he's seeing Madhav or Shyamasundar. And then he's taking darshan, he's chanting, and then he can be remembering. Sarva Karyashu Sarvada, all activities is offering to Krishna, to the Supreme Lord. So, and that is simple procedure for purification. Then we can wake up the deities, we can do Mangal Āratī and so on. If one is worshipping the deities, the main worship is the Abhishek with 16 articles that is indicated here also. And the Shringa Seva, dressing of the deities, then one has to chant some more mantras. Especially one is known as Bhuta Shuddhi. It goes as follows. I am by nature the third servant of Krishna. But due to my being inimical towards him, I have been identifying with this material world and I have been wandering the cycle of birth and death, being burned by the threefold miseries. Now as a result of some unimaginable good fortune by the mercy of my spiritual master, I know that I am an infinitesimal spiritual being, completely apart from the gross and subtle body. Now by the order of my spiritual master, following his footsteps, I have obtained the good fortune of being able to serve his lotus feet, as well as the lotus feet of Gaura Nitai, Krishna Balaram, Sri Sri Radha Shyamasundar. So he has to recite that in his own language, so that he is aware that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. We have heard 1,000 times, I am not this body. But who has realized? Not so easy. There's Gyan and Vigyan. Knowledge, we are spirit soul. And realize, Vigyan, realization that we are spirit soul, completely apart from gross and subtle body. So that we have to realize. So, which is not easy, we chant the holy names and we should chant with some bandagyan, with the knowledge, I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul, we serve with some bandagyan. But specifically, although we have heard many times, but we have not realized, so before we do the actual worship, the main worship, we do this Bhuta Shuddhi, purification of material elements, of the gross body and the subtle body, to go beyond the gross and the subtle body, the false ego. And then we can approach Krishna, who is transcendental. And then we can serve, and then we should pray that we can remain, at least for the time of the seva, which is also not easy, that we can remain on the transcendental plane, and in this way properly serve Krishna. So that is known as yoga, to connect. We are already connected by nature. We are never separated from Krishna. We were never separated, we cannot be separated from Krishna. But due to the modes of material nature, so we are not aware of our relationship with Krishna. So we have to work on that, realizing our relationship with Krishna. Not only a spirit soul, but then in our spiritual body. So, but it takes time, and we have to be always enthusiastic, fixed, and we have to be very, very patient with ourselves also, what to speak of others. And then eventually, by the mercy of Hari Guru Vaishnava, we may become realized. Then the actual worship can be done, which is known as Ijja, another name of deity worship, many names of deity worship, Acha Vigraha Seva, Pancharatrik Vidhi, Charya Paricharya, Aradhanam, Panchanga Puja, and one name is Ijja. So that again, according to instructions of the spiritual master, the process is there of Jagaran Seva, waking up the deities, and on offering Bhoga, doing Mangal Āratī, and then doing the Puja and Shringar Seva, the bathing and dressing of the Lord, which is most important Seva. So according to the instructions of the spiritual master, which is according to the Shastra. And then the fifth of this Panchanga Puja is known as Svadhyaya. Adhyaya means study, Sva self-study. So we have to study the scriptures, we have to hear from the spiritual master. And included in that is good sadhana has to be there. One has to chant at least 16 rounds. And then sadacha, proper behavior, deal properly with other devotees. So when everything is done nicely, Svadhyaya is good. When we are good devotee, we can be good Pujari. In the same 11th canto, just before that, yes, it was before, about 3 devotees, the 3 stages of devotees, Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttamadhikari is mentioned. There it is mentioned about the Kanishta Adhikari, but sometimes devotees, they misunderstand. There it is mentioned those who are worshipping the deities, but they are not properly behaving with others, they are Kanishta Adhikaris. Prakrita Bhaktas, materialistic devotees. But actually in order to worship the deities, we should be a little more advanced. Then you can properly worship the deities. But the meaning actually of the verse is that even though one may be worshipping the deities, but if he is not able to properly deal with the devotees, then he is a Kanishta. Because usually Pujari, he should be Madhyamadhikari. He should be properly dealing with all the devotees and being purified in consciousness, having loving sentiments, then he can properly worship. And there's a reciprocation. But so, then we can see that in reality, so they are very rare. So, of course, Sadguru and Sadshishya, they are rare. Pure devotees are rare. So, but we are trying, and everyone should be encouraged to engage in devotional service, in worshipping the deities. And it is a great fortune if you have the ability to worship the deities in the temple or at home. But then we have to work on ourselves and not remain in this Kanishta Adhikari platform. And come to the next level. Prabhupada used to say, try to become Madhyamadhikari. So that we have to understand. And so the Madhyamadhikari is properly dealing with other devotees and is compassionate, is trying to help the conditioned souls, but is avoiding envious people. And then the pure devotee is always engaged in devotional activities, in glorifying the Lord, worshipping the Lord, and is always properly acting in regards to others. And he's seeing that actually pure devotee is seeing that everyone is a pure devotee. But then in order to preach, the Uttam Vaishnava is coming to the Madhyamadhikari platform. But otherwise he's always seeing that everyone is engaged in the service of the Lord. By nature, everyone is a servant of the Lord. So deity worship is mentioned in the 64 limbs of devotional service, in Navavida Bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Parasevanam, Archanam. And the 5 most important limbs are there. Sadhu Sangha, association with the devotees, Bhagavad Shravan, hearing the Bhagavatam, Dhamvas, residing in the holy Dham, and then Priti Purvak Murti Seva, again it is there. And out of the 64, almost 40 are in relation to the worship of the Lord. So it is very important, and we have to try to engage somehow in devotional service, more or less, and in a proper way as much as possible. But even it is mentioned as here the upachar. This means the articles to be used, or dravya, in the service of the Lord. So that we have to learn how to do artik, how to do the puja. But then it is explained what is most important. That is actually bhakti. So we should do with love and devotion. That is most important. Not just simply do externally the worship, but some love and devotion has to be there. So, so much more to say, but we are running out of time.
You ran out of time.
I ran out of time. Okay, so a question is there. One question we can ask. 9 o'clock we're supposed to finish, but anyhow, it is very auspicious time. It is Shravan Maas and Shukla Paksha, and today we will have the Julan Yatra, and so we're preparing. Whenever we have a festival, So festival will be there this evening. Swinging Radha and Krishna, devotional service, 5 o'clock. And then you can swing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, direct seva. Yeah. And then you will get some prasadam also. Whenever there is a festival, utsav, there's prasadam also. And so whenever we have a festival, we forget, of course still we have to manage the things, but we reduce it. And sometimes we have to reduce the eating and sleeping also because so much to do is there. Yes, question?
Prabhuji, for ISKCON devotees who have deities at home, do we have a standard text or something that we can follow, like step by step, a simplified one? Because the temple one is more elaborate.
Yes.
But something for home. Is there a standard that everybody can follow the same thing at home?
Yes, it is good to know the proper standard, but then at home it is usually simplified. And then, yeah, it's good to be under guidance of a devotee who is experienced, and then you can ask. Because it depends upon time, place and circumstances. Like some devotees, they have more time, so they can do more seva. Some other devotees, they have less time, they can do less seva. So there is an individual thing. And Krishna is very merciful. At home especially, because he understands the grihastas, they are, have to take care of the children, they have to work. They cannot do so much, so Krishna is more tolerant at home. In the temple, everything has to be on time, and everything has to be proper. And opulent worship at home can be more simple, and even sometimes a little late, because sometimes there's some program one has to attend. There's a marriage ceremony in India, many times it's evening time, and then they come back at midnight, and then they cannot get up at 4 o'clock for 4:30 Mangal Āratī. Then they do a little later, 5:30 or 6 o'clock Mangal Āratī, no problem, and Krishna understands. So Krishna is very merciful, and even you can put him to rest at 12, because anyhow Krishna is already sleeping, no problem. So it is better to be under the guidance of a devotee who is experienced, then you can ask him. Your spiritual master or a devotee who is experienced in deity worship, then he can give you some practical guidance what to do and what is most important. Okay? Fine. Hare Krishna. And your question? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. In your class, you mentioned that after getting permission from the Guru, we can go and get the deity from Loi Bazaar, like from the shops. But I've also heard it's better if the deity comes to you. Can you?
Well, yes, of course. If Krishna is coming to you, that's wonderful. Yes. If the deities are coming to you, that is nice. But then still, it would be good to ask the permission from the spiritual master, even if the deities are coming to you. Because then he will tell you also how to worship the deities. Because you know how to worship the deities, do you know? A little bit, something. But then we need the blessings of the spiritual master, no? So we can worship the deities. And even when you worship the deities, first you have to do Guru Puja, we have to worship the spiritual master. And then he will introduce you to the seva, to Gaura Nitai and Krishna Balaram, or whoever it may be. So it is a wise thing to ask the spiritual master, not that, okay, I don't need my spiritual master to worship the deities. They came to me, now I am worshipping Krishna. Without Guru you can do nothing. Without Guru we are zero. If Guru is there, then we are hero, if you follow him. If you don't follow, you are zero. So become a hero or a heroine by following properly. Okay, so you ask your spiritual master even if the deities are coming to you. But it is auspicious, and certainly then the spiritual master will help you. But we should take guidance from the spiritual master. It may be Diksha Guru or Shiksha Guru. The initiating, but if he's busy preaching here and there, he has like Jayapatak Maharaj, 60,000 disciples, then he cannot give so much time to all the disciples. Then it would be wise to have a Shiksha Guru, a devotee who is highly advanced, then he can help you also in doing the deity worship and in practical devotional service, okay? Prabhuji also has one question here. And, okay, we have to finish the class. Last question, and if more questions, then after the class.
We will have a seminar.
Yeah, in Kartik we will have a seminar in regards to deity worship and And yes. Yes, in Kartik we'll do, every year actually we'll do a seminar. And we can take last question here, Prabhuji's, at least one Prabhuji. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
keep the mic a little closer.
Prabhuji, here for deity worship there are so many rules and regulations.
So many rules and regulations, yes.
And we see here in purport it's written that deity worship, deity manifestation is mercy of Lord for the neophytes and
it is for the neophytes.
Materialistic people. So how here
how we can reconcile?
We here also see that so many people comes, they have the Laddu Gopals and they are just using roughly.
Yes.
Behaving roughly. So how we can understand?
How to reconcile?
How to understand this?
Yes.
Can you just?
Yeah, this is true. So rules and regulations are there. In the temple, there are so many rules and regulations, and one has to be very strict. At home, it can be more simple, and Bhav Seva is there. Bhav Seva, just like when you have Laddu Gopal, it's just like your child. Vatsalya Bhav, parental affection. So the worship may be more simple, but still you have to follow some rules and regulations. Like in the morning, you should take a bath before waking up Laddu Gopal also. Generally, that should be done. So you have to follow some rules and regulations, but in home worship, there are not so many rules and regulations. It is a little bit relaxed. Okay, but basic rules and regulations. Prata Snan, that is for a human being. Normal human being, he will take bath early morning. Otherwise, according to the Vedic scriptures, he's not really a normal human being. If he's not taking bath in the morning, you have to take bath in the morning. That is a regulative principles. You put on fresh clothes. And then you do your whatever you have to do. But you have to take bath in the morning. Of course, you may get up early and then you may chant the holy names. That can be done. But for worship of the Lord, then you have to take bath and then you worship the Lord. And then you have to, for example, do whatever you have to do, your business. So you should be clean. So you have to take bath sooner or later in the morning. Before eating something, you have to take bath and you have to be clean and have fresh clothes every day. Except you're traveling on the train and then you cannot take bath. But otherwise, on a daily basis, you have to take bath, put on fresh clothes, and then you can worship the deities. Okay? But then at home, again, it is simple worship. All right, any more questions you can ask me after. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare